Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So, let's talk about the Luna and Poppy scene. Because Luna was so out of pocket today, right? She was so out of pocket. Like, what wound up happening was an accident, right? It's not like she slipped pills in her purse and disguised them as mints or whatever and told her just to go out and have a good time. You took the wrong mints. You took your mother's mints by accident. Okay, at the end of the day, that's literally what it was an accident. The only thing that I sit there and say about Poppy is that you kept this pill problem a secret from your daughter. That's the only thing I could sit there and say about that. But other than that, that was on Luna. It was an accident, but still. Her trying to accuse her of that and being like, oh well, you messed up my relationship, and then she starts calling her immoral and irresponsible. Starts Smith is saying like Lee was right about you, and I'm like, what? First of all, listen, what happened was terrible, right? But instead of you sitting there bashing your mom and blaming your mom and everything like that, why don't you put on your big girl pants, go over to RJ, and tell him the goddamn truth. Tell him the truth. Right then and there. Instead of sitting there berating your mother. But no. Because she's too much in her feelings. She's too much in her feelings. And then Poppy says something, and I'm not going to lie, was just pretty stupid. Was pretty stupid, and it might even be considered selfish. She tells Luna to not say anything. You're going to have a great life. Don't let this one thing spoil it. Are you kidding me? Now, that's when Luna was actually right. You want me to sit there and she was like, what kind of mother are you? You want me to sit there and lie to the man that I love? Now, it's a very stupid thing to say. We can all agree on that. But it makes me wonder, does she not want her to say anything because it's going to make her look bad and it's going to make Lee come at her even hard and be like, I was right? You want her to keep your dirty little secret so this way you won't get berated by Lee. Wow. That's pretty messed up. That's something I can sit there and say, that's pretty messed up. But all the other stuff that was sent there coming out of Luna's mouth, talking about, oh, well, I saved myself as opposed to you just sleeping with a bunch of. I'm like, so you just sat there and slut shamed your mother. Wow. You're trash. Okay. That's pretty low. That's pretty low. Meanwhile, while that's going on, you can see the guilt is really starting to take its toll on Zendang. And Eric asks Zendang to mentor Luna, take her under his wing, really show him the ropes in the business, really show her the ropes in the business and stuff. Teach her the stuff that RJ can't. And that's pretty much the last thing that he wants. Now this is something that Kyrie said in his stream. He was like, Luna really didn't want to sit there and be with him, had no interest in him, and was basically snipped as saying that she was a committed relationship. But yet she shows up in your bed, and you don't question that, right? Let's be very clear about this. This girl, after you invited her to your place, she shows up in your bed. looking at you, smiling and everything like that, looking all sexy. So you can see at the very least how you can misread the situation. That's literally what it is. It was honestly a mistake. And to sit there and say that he took advantage of her in any sort of sense whatsoever is absolutely 100% disgusting. Because there's been so many men accused of that. And to be so loose with it, regardless of the situation and the circumstance, is just straight up ignorant. And again, I've been on social media, I've been on Instagram, and people have just, a lot of women have just been completely and utterly out of pocket with the things that they have sat there and said. I've been a part of this soap world, I guess, even longer than 3 years on YouTube. I started watching General Hospital when I was in high school. In the soap world, the fandom is interesting. And sometimes, even as long as I've been in it, I still don't understand it. Because you have fans that can sit there and forgive what Luke did to Laura. You have fans that can sit there and forgive and say it was the best love story ever. And I'm looking at them like, are you kidding me? Are are you out of your goddamn mind? After what Luke literally did to Laura, I've sat there and seen people sit there and say, I want my love story to be just like theirs. What the is wrong with you? But then you have people calling Zende all sorts of names that I can't even sit there and say on YouTube for a situation where he walks in his own goddamn place and sees a woman in his bed and has the audacity to sit there and say anything of the nature of what he did. It completely and utterly boggles my mind. And I know I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going to get to the other stuff in a minute. But it's one of those things where it's like, God damn, sometimes you people, oof. Now, while that's going on, you got Liam pretty much trying to get info on Poppy as far as, is Poppy using Bill, trying to set him up or anything like that, being a gold digger, have bad intentions, anything like that. And, RJ speaks very positive of her, very positive for Luna and stuff like that, and basically says that Poppy is a good person. And yes, it's very clear that Poppy has a substance abuse problem, right? It doesn't make you a bad person because you have a problem. But I've seen people call her all sorts of names. And you got Luna sitting there calling her names about that. And I'm like, I get that you're in a very angry and emotional state and everything like that, but you're still a hell of out of pocket for the way that you're treating your mother. You are straight up disrespectful for the way that you're treating her. She was a single mother and she brung you up all by herself. And this is the type of gratitude that you're showing her? Is it wow. Mm-mm. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening. But if I forget anything, you know what to do. Come to a live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Boy and the Beautiful, Young and the Restless. And I said this before my live stream, so one of the many reasons why you should sit there and come is it opens up a conversation, or it reopens up a conversation about consent in circumstantial situations. I always sit there and defer back to the bar, right? Meet somebody, they're inebriated. It doesn't matter if they sit there and say yes, they're not in their right state of mind, right? Then, what if you have a situation when you're both inebriated? Then who took advantage of who? Did anyone take advantage of each other? Or was it just mutual? The lines of consent definitely get blurred when you have to sit there and look at it in that situation. This is why I'm always saying that it's not so much as the act, it's the circumstances around that. People isn't there wilding out, calling them those sorts of names. What if they're in a situation just like I'm painting? They're both in a bar, they're doing whatever, and they go back to his place, her place, do whatever. Or do you want to sit there and say that he's in the wrong because what? He's a man? It opens up conversations at the very least. That's all I'm going to sit there and say. And if I forget anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And we'll talk about it. Talk about the ball and the beautiful stuff as well as all the other stuff of the other shows. I'll be live streaming for an hour and a half. And so I definitely would encourage people to come through. Anyway, with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.